All right, once you're signed in your table of contents, I want you to add today's date. I want you to add equivalent expressions. We need to work on this. And it's going to be on page 15. Okay, we'll charge it when we go to lunch.
Mine's on 100%. Mine's just happy.
Gotta go to what page? No, I'm not on the right page. I don't think so. Oh, we got address.
Yep, you got to put this in your table of contents. You may. All right, we talked about this indicator in chapter 1, okay? When we talked about associative, commutative, and distributive property. Today we're going to mainly talk about the distributive property, okay? Now, at the top of your page, the one that you can print to put in there and that I handed out to you, we're going to use this focus statement. I can use math properties to determine equivalent expressions. Now, if you didn't have a printer at home and you were at home, what would you do with this? Write it at the top, okay? So, let's talk about some of the properties that we talked about in chapter 1, okay? We talked about commutative, associative, and the distributive property. So let's look right here. Let's see which one matches each one, okay? 3y plus 7 equals 7 plus 3y. Which property is that?
Commutative.
Commutative, because what did we do?
Swap them.
We just changed the order. All right, the second one, I've got parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses, plus 3, equals x plus 2, parentheses, 2 plus 3, close parentheses. Did my order change here? I've got x, 2, 3, x, 2, 3. Did the order change? Nope. What changed?
The
The parentheses. So which property is that? Associative. All right, the bottom one. If I give my 7 to the x, what do I get? 7 times x is 7x. Bring down my plus sign. 7 times 3 is 21. What property is that? When I give out the 7. Distributive, because I'm distributing. I'm giving it out. And this one is the one that we're going to mostly talk about today. Okay? Now, I've given you this paper. If you were at home and you didn't have a printer, all you'd have to do is copy this into your journal, okay? Now, we're going to talk about what equivalent expression means. So, what does the word equivalent mean?
Equal.
Equal.
It's just a really big word for equal.
It is a really big word for equal. And what does expression mean?
Like
We've talked about a numerical expression and we've talked about an algebraic expression. When we talked about a numerical expression and we talked about an algebraic expression, we talked about what the word expression means in math. Who remembers what that means?
To determine something?
What's a numerical expression?
A phrase with numbers and symbols.
A phrase with numbers and symbols. That's a numerical expression. An algebraic expression is,
A math phrase with numbers, operations, and variables.
so what did both of those definitions say? What did it start with? A
Numerous.
A
Phrase.
phrase. So what do you think equivalent expressions are? Equal math phrases. Equal math phrases. That's what an equivalent expression is. You might want to write that down. All right, there are two ways we can determine if expressions are equal. 1 through 4 is option 1, okay? Number 5 is option 2, okay? We can either plug in a number to see if they're equal, or we can use the distributive property to see if they're equal. And y'all, we're gonna use both ways, okay? Let's start down here at the bottom. Let's start, I've got my 7 right here in front. What property would be easy to use here? If I've got the 7 in front, what property is easy to use here? The distributive property. 7 times 5x is, what's 7 times 5?
35.
35. I'm going to bring down my plus sign, and 7 times 3 is, y'all, what's 7 times 3?
27.
21. 35x plus 21. Is that what I've got over here? Yes. So are those equal? Yes. Those are equal. Let's try another one. And I'm going to do it this way so that I can keep writing. All right, on the left, I want you to write these two examples. 8 times 2x minus 9 and 16x plus 72. I want you to write those two examples on the left. All right, I'm gonna give you one more minute. Shouldn't take you but a second to write that down. Does it look like we could use the distributive property easily here to determine if these are equal? Yeah, it does. So let's try that first, okay? Let's try the distributive property first. So let's give out our 8. What is 8 times 2x?
16
16x. And then I'm going to bring down my what?
minus
My minus sign. 8 times 9 is
72.
72. So I've got 16x minus 72. And I've got 16x plus 72.
No,
Are those equal? What's wrong there?
it's the minus and the plus.
It's the minus and the plus, okay? Because I've got a minus and I've got a plus right here and right here, those are not equivalent, okay? They're not equal. All right, I want you to write the second one down. Right below that. Does it look like the distributive property will be easy for this one? No. All right. Remember, I told you we have 2 ways that we can determine if they are equal. We've got one way here, which is steps 1 through 4. And then we have a second way down there with step 5. We've been using step 5 to use the distributive property, but we can't do that here. So we've got to use step 1. Now, first step 1 says to choose a number to represent the variable. Everybody pay attention to what I'm about to say. Pick a number that is easy to use. I like to pick 2 or 5, okay? I don't like to pick 7. I don't like to pick 9 because both of those numbers make math a little more difficult, okay? I like to stick with 2s or 5s, okay? Just because it makes it a little bit easier, okay? So, I want you to pick one for me, Justin, 2 or 5.
5.
5. Justin says we're going with 5. So right here in the middle, I'm going to write x equals 5. And we did that. Write what each variable will be. So I wrote x equals 5. Now, I need to plug it in. But y'all, don't forget to put your multiplication sign. If you don't put your multiplication sign, you're going to make a mistake. So I've got my parentheses, 3 times, what did we say x is?
5.
5. Plus 8, close my parentheses, plus 6 minus what's x?
5.
5. Y'all, I'm not going to worry about this expression over here until I've done with this one first, okay? I don't want to do 2 things at one time. I'm going to do one expression at a time. Now, what am I going to do first over here?
The first parenthesis.
The first parentheses. And what do I need to do first in that set of parentheses?
3 times 5.
3 times 5. What is 3 times 5?
15.
15. 15 plus 8. And then I still have my 6 minus 5. What is 15 plus 8?
23.
23. Bring my plus sign down. Now what do I do?
You take away 6. Take away 5.
What is 6 minus 5? 1. 23 plus 1 is
24.
24. All right, over here, 4x plus 14. What do I need to do first?
Make the x a 5.
I do, but I also need to make sure I've got my dot there for multiplication. Then I need to, what did I say x is?
5.
4 times 5 is
Or 20.
20. 20 plus 14 is
34.
34. So I've got 24 and I've got 34. Are those equal?
No.
No. No. All right, we're going to try one more before we're practicing, okay? And I am going to erase this writing because when I flip the page, I plugged in a 2 when I did this on here, and we did a 5. And I want you to see that it doesn't matter if we did a 3 or a 5, okay? Because, I'm sorry, a 2 or a 5. Because when I plugged in 2 here, what did I get? I got 18 on the left, and I got 22 on the right. So they were still what? Not equivalent. So I wanted you to see that it doesn't matter what number you plug in, okay? But don't do a 1, okay? Those can be a little tricky, okay? All right, let's look down here at number 3. Do you want to use the first way, or do you want to use the second way?
What way did we do the last one?
We did the last one the first way because we couldn't use the distributive property with the last one. When you are older, you will learn how to use the distributive property with that, but that's not a 6th grade standard, so we're not learning that right now.
First one.
You want to plug in a number? Okay, so what do you want to plug in?
5.
All right, so let's plug in a 5 over here. What is 3 plus 5?
8.
6 times 8 is
48.
48. Over here, what do I need to do first?
Do the multiplication.
Multiplication symbol. So I have 6 times 5 plus 18. What's 6 times 5?
30.
30. What's 30 plus 18?
48.
48. Same?
Yes.
Yes. Now, I want you to look at something. We could have also done it the second way. What's 6 times x?
6 times x.
6 times x. Bring my plus sign down. 6 times 3?
18.
18. So I've got 6x plus 18. What do I have here?
6 times 8. 6 times
6x plus
15.
18. So does it match? Yeah, it matches. Okay?
So really it didn't matter which way we did it.
It didn't matter which way we did it. It was equal both ways. Does that make sense? All right, we do have an exit ticket for today, but I want to do a little bit more practice first, okay? And we are going to mark out several of these, all right? Because there are some of these that we don't really matter to us. Alright, so I'm going to go here. Oh, nope. Please stop. Okay, I want you to look at this page first. And you should have expressions practice 1, and it's like side by side like this, okay? And I want you to mark out eight, 10, and 12. Those are 3 that we will not do, okay? Did I give you 2?
The rest we're gonna do.
We're going to work on some of them. We might not get finished with all of them, but if you wanted to take this home and practice, you could, okay? But there are some I don't want you to do, okay? All right, if you will look at the back page where you've got practice 2, we're going to mark out number 1, number 4, number 6, and number 8. Those are ones that you should not do. All right, so let's look at the first side, okay? Right here. And let's look at number 1. Which expression is equivalent to 7 parentheses x plus 8 close parentheses? So what, do you want to use the first way or do you want to use the second way? Plug in a number or distributive property? Distributive property. All right, 7 times x is what? 7x. Bring down my plus sign. 7 times 8 is 56. Which answer choice matches that? A. We're going to skip and go down to number 3. Okay? Do you want to use the first way, where we plug in a number, or do you want to use the distributive property? Distributive property, okay? So, which expression is not equivalent, okay? What is 5 times 2x? 5 times 2 is 10. Bring down my minus sign. 5 times 4 is 20. So we have 10x minus 20. And A says what? So that one is equal. So that one can't be it, okay? What does the second one say? Can we have minus 4? No, because we've got what? We've got 10x minus 20. So that matches, but that does not. So B does not match, okay? Can we stop? All right. What is 4 minus 2? 2. So what is 2 times 5x? 10x. 2 times 10 is?
20.
Does that one match? Yep. 5x plus 5x is how many x's? 5 plus 5 is 10. Does that equal? Yep. So the only one that doesn't equal is what? B. I want you to do number 7 right here. 3 plus x plus 5. Which expression is equivalent to this? Can we use the distributive property? No, because it's not being multiplied, okay? So what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to plug in a number, okay? What number do you want to pick?
I did 2.
Okay. Everybody do 2. TJ, are you working? All right. What answer did you get? C. C is the only one that equals if you plug in a 2. All right. This paper can be used for practice, okay? But I want to go over something else, okay? At the end of this lesson, we're going to, in just a minute, we're going to do the ticket out the door, okay? Which will be your exit ticket for today. There are only 2 questions on your exit ticket, and that'll help me know if you got this or if you didn't, all right?